The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
We are back. New York Yankee baseball, past, present, and future. I'm Ralph Tyko of the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, and the guest is Robert Deininger. He's not really a guest, he's the co-host. How are you, Robert?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Listen, we have a Yankee team that is absolutely going wild. And the guy I want to call your attention to and ask your opinion is Gelbar, the second baseman.
Oh, yeah, Gleyber Torres.
I call him Gelbar for some reason. But he's a rookie, tearing him up. 2 home runs the other night. And he seems to have really come at the right time. Because we're not getting much from Walker. And, they needed a spark. And it's coming. Hicks is coming back. Bird is coming back. Really, it's falling into place.
Yeah. I mean, Gleyber Torres in 25 games. I mean, the kid's got 6 home runs, 18 RBIs. He's batting over 320. He's got 27 hits and 84 at bats. I mean, they raved about his hands and his ability to adjust during an at bat, and he's showing that he can hit major league pitching. I've been very surprised. I'm just very impressed with them. Very impressed.
What scares you between now and the end of the season, if you had to think overall?
The starting pitching. Tanaka, the long ball's hurting him again this year. I mean, he's keeping him in games, but the long ball's hurting him. Montgomery's injury, you always worry about Sabathia maybe getting hurt. It's just, it would be nice if they went out during the All-Star break and got themselves another quality starting pitcher.
Right. Tampa Bay has this kid, Archer, who is kind of up for grabs, and I'm surprised the Yankees haven't jumped on him by now.
I know. I hear Cole Hamels' name recently, too, being linked to a possible Yankees trade.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've been seeing reports like that the past couple of days. So it should be interesting.
You got a nice outing out of Sonny Gray.
Yeah, Sonny, the last 4 games he's been what he was advertised to be. I think he's attacking the hitters more, and the results are showing.
Had he been injured? Was he struggling with arm problems or just weak arm or whatever?
I just think it took him a while to adjust. He seems to pitch a lot better to Austin Romine. They have a better plan of attack than he seems with Sanchez. He seems to shake Sanchez off a lot. But with Romine, they seem to be on the same page.
Okay. So are they going to him like his personal catcher, like Steve Carlton and McCarver from way back?
Aaron Boone's trying not to say he's a personal catcher, but as of right now, Austin Romine will be his personal catcher for the foreseeable future.
Very interesting. Well, catcher needs a day off every couple of 4 days anyway.
Yeah.
So may not hurt. Sanchez has been incredible. Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even though his batting average is slowly starting to rise to 231, but he's got 12 home runs, 33 RBIs, 11 doubles. I mean, the guy just comes up with big hits.
Yeah, it's nice. He's no longer a Yankee, but I have to call attention to Dustin Fowler out here where I live in Northern California with the A's, who was traded for Sonny Gray.
And he just hit his first home run a couple of days ago, right? Or a week ago?
He did, and he is back. His speed is back. I can't imagine him being much faster than what he is now. He's a speedster, and he's settling in. So
I'm glad to hear that because he was one of their top prospects, and he was the first one they actually called up last year out of all the prospects.
And his first, he didn't even get an at bat. He smashed right into that
electrical box
right in Chicago, and that's going to be a big suit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in progress yet, but a lot of pain and suffering in rehab. We don't think of it, well, guy's out for the year. He'll be back next year. He's got this arm problem or this knee problem.
That's a lot of work to get back.
Takes a lot of work, and everybody is different. They don't respond in the same way. Some heal slower. Some minds play tricks with you. You know, there's that, will I ever come back? It feels so bad now that how am I ever going to rehab it? And, you know, a lot of guys don't. A lot of guys don't come back to form, so it's not an automatic thing. What are you most surprised about in the season so far? And it's still relatively early. We're talking May 21st right now, 22nd.
It seems like there's a different hero every night, and the Yankees they traded for Brandon Drury to play third base, and I don't think they anticipated Miguel Andujar progressing as fast as he has. And right now, Drury's stuck down in AAA because Andujar is just playing too well. You can't send him down, and Tyler Austin has 8 home runs and 23 RBIs, and Greg Bird's due to be back in a week, and they're going to have to send Tyler Austin down. And he's been their most productive first baseman up until this point.
Right, but Bird's a big step up. If Bird is healthy, and Hicks being healthy, and you got Judge and Stanton and the 2 rookies in the infield that are actually against all odds almost, succeeding at the same time. They don't, like you say, starting pitching can be their only weakness. And what that does, though, it's a domino effect. If starting pitching aren't going 7 innings, you start paying a toll on your bullpen. And what looks like on paper a solid bullpen, you get to August, September, these guys are going to be just wasted. So that's where we're at. Overall, you're happy, got to be.
You know, and as well as the Yankees are playing, Boston's still right there. I mean, it's going to be a photo finish at the end of the year between these 2 teams.
Absolutely. You don't want to make the wild card. You want that division title. Yeah. There's so many things could happen in a short series, and it stretches you out. You're playing while your opponent is sitting and watching, that kind of thing.
And you got to start your ace in that wild card game, which means you don't have him for game 1 if you do advance to the playoffs. It's a lot more easier if you just win a division. Yeah.
I wish you luck with that. I'm more of a Met fan, as you know, but a New Yorker.
They've won 4 straight, right?
I can't believe it. I got up this morning. I knew they won last night, but I got up and it was true. I didn't have to pinch myself. 2-0. You got a Vargas outing that was very encouraging.
He's starting to pitch better, right?
Absolutely. And what's really nice with the Mets, Conforto is coming back to form a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that.
And my guy, Nemo, is playing some good ball, and he's, like Judge, a likable guy that's easy to root for.
Yeah.
And, you know, when all things come down to it, you want to root for the guys that you like. You want those guys to do well, and so it's going to be a good year. It's only a quarter through. It seems longer.
Yeah. Still a lot of baseball left.
Hey, Robert, thank you. Great Yankee show. Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I'm very appreciative. And
thanks, Ralph.
as you know, we just started a show on Sports Byline, actual radio. And Sports Byline Network is on over 200 affiliates. They're on Armed Forces Radio, Sirius XM, and all that. And you're going to be a regular contributor to that. You're going to analyze the American League for us and stop by periodically and give us reports. And the show is on overnight, Sports Byline. It's called Comfortably Zoned in Lenny Randall's Hot Corner.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we got it going, and I'm glad you're going to be a part of it. Thank you, Robert.
Me too.
And
thanks, Ralph.
Be well, and we'll talk to you down the baseball road.
Thanks, Ralph.
All right. Be well, everybody. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back soon. Adios.
Adios.
Have Wayne Unger to talk a little Yankee ball. How are you, Wayne?
I'm doing good, Ralph. How are you?
Your team, I'm fine. Your team is doing terrifically. Anything that worries you, that's, you see things in a way where you're a Yankee fan, but you're very, very objective. And should we be getting carried away, or is there a certainty that they're going to make the playoffs? How do you feel?
Nothing is certain, but if I was a betting man, I would certainly take a bet that they'll make the playoffs.
Okay.
They're firing on all cylinders, but something to keep in mind is that there's another team in that same division that is firing on all cylinders.
That's the Red Sox.
And that's the Red Sox.
Greatest rivalry in baseball, arguably the Giants and Dodgers, but you can go back and forth on that one for a long. It's nice when both teams in a rivalry are winning, where it's not the hammer and the nail. And these are exciting times in baseball.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the Yankee. Let me give you an example, because I was just looking at this yesterday. Let me give you an example of how close they are. All right, the Yankees are 31-13. The Red Sox are 32-15. So technically, the Yankees are a half a game ahead, but they still, they would have to win. You still have to win games. So let's just say they would have to win the next two games, and if Boston didn't play, to maintain that. So you still have to win it. But
it's the loss column. It's the loss column we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Yankees have scored 261 runs. They've given up 180 runs. They have a plus 81 run differential. The Red Sox have scored 253 runs and have given up 178 runs for a plus 75 run differential. That is also remarkably close. To give you an idea of what a difference that is, the Astros are 2 games ahead of the Mariners, but yet their run differential is 91 runs better than the Mariners.
And the Mariners are about to take a major dump with Cano not being there.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know. They've actually they've plugged in. They put D. Gordon at second base, so if they can get it, it's probably easier to replace somebody in the outfield than it is at second base. So we don't know that yet.
Yeah.
So
he'd be hard to replace. Let's put it. He's the heart of their team, and again, somebody could come up. That's the nice thing about baseball. Bad break for one guy could lead to an emergence of someone else, and there you go. That man left $12 million on the table this year.
Well, he didn't leave it. I mean, he didn't leave it. It was taken from him. But getting back to your first question, is there anything to be concerned about? My one small concern is, should they, and it's, from what I understand, it's quite likely that they will look to add a rotation piece. My concern is, what will they do to add that rotation piece? And if any of the, if anyone comes from the major league level, if it will upset everything that's in place. This team is just, in general, just really playing well.
Mm-hmm.
One guy is down, another guy's picking it up, another guy's down, another guy's picking it up.
And you've got Hicks and Bird are coming back from injuries, and that's a big plus, keeping those two guys healthy.
Hicks is already back.
Yeah, right. But and he's playing well and not getting hurt again. And now Bird is on his way. He's rehabbing.
He's rehabbing. Let's see when he's here. But the thing is, let's see. Like, okay, so if Bird comes up, then whose place does he take?
And maybe that's with him coming up. Maybe that gives them a little depth to trade a major leaguer for a pitcher. Archer is available. I keep talking about him with Tampa. Do you like him? Do you like the chances of the Yankees getting him?
Well, from what I see written, and of course this is true, Tampa would probably prefer to trade him outside the division.
Okay.
Because, although I don't know if it really would make that much of a difference for now, because Archer, I believe he's under control for like 2 more years. So that, I don't think they're going to be contending next year where they'd have Archer shoving it down their throats. But he'd be expensive. I don't know if if the Yankees would want to give up what they gave up and to get Archer, particularly while he's had 3 out of 4 good starts, as of late. After trading for Sonny Gray, who knows how they feel about it.
Well, Gray, as you probably realize, has been coming around. He pitched a nice game the other night.
I just said his 3 out of his last 4 starts have been quite good.
Right.
But again, you don't know. But I think they will probably trade for a starter. I think it makes sense to them. Their 2 top pitching prospects have not progressed this year like they did last year. Whereas at this time, you would be thinking, the way things were looking over the winter, it would be like, well, come June, should they need to reach back and grab another pitcher? Hey, at the way they're progressing, they can look at promoting either Sheffield or Adams, and both of them have been struggling somewhat.
Is Sheffield, I don't know this, is Sheffield a Gary Sheffield kid?
No.
Okay. Just a thought that he might be. The age sounds about right. Anybody else that you would look to, any veteran pitcher that's out there and may be available aside Archer that pops up in your head?
Cole Hamels pops into my head.
Okay. Yeah, Robert Deininger mentioned that he might be available. That surprises me.
Well, why would that surprise you? I'm just curious.
He's just too valuable a pitcher to trade, I would think.
Well, Cole Hamels, I mean, all right, well, he's 34 years old. Okay, I believe he is a free agent after this year. He hasn't been completely healthy this year and even last. He does have some type of vesting. He has a couple of different vesting options. One, I believe he won't make. It has to do with innings pitched, and chances are he won't make it because he only pitched about 148 innings last year, and it was based on 2 years. I forgot what the other part of it was, but so. Texas isn't going anywhere, so I can't see, so I don't think that's like.
But, Texas historically does not like to, quote, rebuild. They like to do it on the fly. And I think it's a matter of fans not losing the fan base. And they've always been famous for that. They just will not trade off guys. I just don't. I think he's too valuable. That's all.
But Texas is in a different position. I mean, Adrian Beltre is a free agent at the end of this year. They don't. I mean, if you look at their roster, it's like they're not really positioned to rebuild on the fly. They're really not. And you know what? A lot of teams have been that way. They don't want to rebuild on the fly, but all you got to do is look at the history. I mean, I think they do have some good young players. So they do have an Elvis Andrus. They do have Joey Gallo. They do have Profar and Odor. They do have Mazzara. Okay? So it's not a terrible situation, but their starting pitching going forward is, don't forget, they have Bartolo Colon and Doug Fister on their roster. Okay, we're talking about retreads.
Right.
Colon, up until last night, Colon has pitched fantastic. Fister is kind of like held his own, but it's not like you can look at that pitching staff and say, yeah, man, we're evolving, we're going forward. So,
yeah, but you don't take, I think the A's are a good example. They took Gray out of there. When they lost Gray, took the heart out of their starting rotation. You got to have that guy to go to, and I think Hamels is that guy. That's all.
Well, if you're a contender, yes, but they're not. They're not close. They're not even close, unfortunately, for them.
Well, he also has an effect on the young pitchers coming up. And
I think that's okay. In a way that's kind of overstated. They can bring in another veteran, a cheaper veteran. Hamels will fetch them some good prospects if he's healthy. He actually missed his last start. Okay, has a neck injury. Yeah, but it's just stiffness. But he actually, I think, he might actually pitch against the Yankees. I didn't even check the schedule to see if they have him. Let's see, is he scheduled to pitch? He's actually scheduled to pitch tonight. So who knows? This could, but he's a likely, he's a likely trade candidate. Okay. Based on what, on his vesting options and what's owed to him.
Well, the one thing about Beltre, he's a future Hall of Famer. They may look at it as the envelope is still open. They in that division could contend for a wild card.
How so?
Well,
it's not a division, okay? You got to understand something.
That's true. That's true.
You're not contending in a division for a wild card. You're contending in the American League.
You're right.
So let's just say right away, either the Yankees or the Red Sox are going to get one of the wild cards. It's not written in stone, but that's quite probable. Okay.
And now you got the Angels in that division, in that league too.
And the Mariners.
Yeah,
And the other thing is, you're probably not aware of it, but the Texas Rangers are 18-31. They're 12.5 games out, and it's not going to get any better.
Okay, I concede he's a good trade bait. Absolutely.
Okay. So like I say, but I would expect the Yankees will make a move for a starting pitcher. We'll have to see.
Okay.
And a lot also will depend on Domingo Germán.
Right. Now, you have something going for you that I didn't think would happen. You have two rookies in the infield, and that was a risk, and they're both doing incredibly well.
Yeah, and I just didn't think it was a risk with this team.
Well, I did. I think anytime you have a contending team and two unknown rookies, it is a risk, of course. They thought so. They didn't start out Torres in the big leagues, or Gelbar.
They didn't start Torres out, but a lot of that was because. And I don't blame them not opening the season with Torres. He did miss all of last year or most of last year. He had Tommy John surgery and is not throwing arm. So, but I was quite confident with Andujar at third. I felt as though he would be able to hit major league pitching. His defense wasn't the best, but, I was okay with that. And, but everything falls into, listen, I shouldn't say nobody expected Greg Bird to get hurt again. We were all just hoping he wouldn't get hurt again, but we, were confident that if he played, he would pick up where he left off.
Right.
But, defensively, Torres is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Some in the organization, Didi Gregorius is a fantastic defensive shortstop, and many in the organization felt at shortstop Torres was superior to him. So,
it's not, the book isn't closed on him. He's struggled a lot lately after a great start.
Yes.
So, Didi.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was just getting another call, and I just looked over to see if it was important. But No, you know what? He is struggling, and but you know what? Look at Giancarlo Stanton. He struggled in his first month.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you have no idea what the chatter was like. You know, it was from Yankee fans, and like, you know,
Yeah.
the typical.
Well, when
what
a
have you
guy
done for me
struggles
lately?
after having succeeded and doing well, you say, well, he's in a slump. But with Stanton, you always have to, until he starts playing well, wonder, is he the kind of guy who can play in New York? And there's definitely a clear distinction about playing in New York than anywhere else.
You know what? I got to tell you, I'm not entirely sold on that. I'm not. That's number one. Okay, but here's the thing with Stanton. Problem is, people don't. Stanton had his April 218, 304, 356. Do you know that it was very similar to his April in 2017? In 2017, his April was his April was actually quite good in 2017, but I saw numbers otherwise. But like, that's because he picked it up at the end of April. I'm trying to see if I can find the splits, but you know what? He's hitting, for the month of May, he's hitting, where'd it go? 323, 394,
Oh, he's
694.
definitely picked it up. He's definitely
And
picked it up.
you know what? And I don't know if it was a thing of whether or not you can play in New York. We've seen this many times in the past with guys that get traded, with guys that sign as free agents. They press. They're trying to do too much.
Hey, I've got to take a short break. We're going to hang up. I'm going to call you right back. And
no, you know what? We're gonna have to
wrap it up.
Do this later. We're gonna have to wrap it up. I have Danny Nobler coming on at 1 p.m. on the Weighted Donut Show.
Beautiful.
So I have to get ready for that and text him 5 minutes ahead of time. But
we'll catch
hey,
up
Ralph,
when we do. That was a great analyzation. Wayne Unger, Weighted Donuts, Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I'm Ralph Tyko. This is the Yankee Show, New York Yankees, past, present, and future. And we'll catch you down the baseball road, Wayne Unger.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Be good. Bye.